I'm Zach. This is Sky. This is the Quick and Dirty.
Okay, what we're gonna do today is something called a bench Sphinx pose. All right, so Sphinx pose is something from yoga where you're really just kind of opening up into like child pose with your palms up to get the lats engaged. Now we're gonna take that another direction, go a little bit further with a leverage point. That way we can get an athlete who has some limited shoulder flexion and T-spine extension, thoracic extension. And what ends up happening when that's the case is the athlete either can't get their arms all the way up over their head, or they can, but only because they buckle their lower back and compress their lumbar spine whenever they have a large weight overhead. So this is gonna be our solution for that athlete right here. First, we check in with a measurement of how far they can flex overhead. If we find that wanting, we put them into this bench Sphinx pose. I'm gonna work Zach through this as though he was a normal patient, everyday kind of assessment. And this is how we check this out to see if this would be useful. So go ahead and stand with your spine flat against this post. Good, heels about 6 inches away, and flatten your entire spine against that post. So now you're pulled down tight right here. Thumbs forward, elbows straight, flex overhead. Very good. Zach's got great range of motion. Now bring your arms down to right about here. A lot of the time I'll find that someone has to flex or extend their spine off of the wall in order to get to this positioning. Zach doesn't necessarily need this work, but if he did, this is exactly what we'd do. That's your check-in point. If someone comes up short on that, you'd work them through this for about 30 seconds, 90 seconds, and retest. All right, Z, go ahead and get into a position where you're on your knees on the floor, your wrists on the bench. Hips stacked above the top of the knees, palms turned all the way up, elbows driven toward each other, and look up into your hands as you pull with the strength of your abdomen, your chest down to the floor. Look up into your hands. Now that's gonna force extension right here, and lat stretch through here. Are you getting a pinch in the shoulder at all?
A little bit.
Okay, so when you're getting a little bit of a pinch in the shoulder, move a little closer to the bench so you're not so leveraged. Okay, yeah, you really shouldn't get the pressure inside the shoulder. It's worth checking in on that and decreasing the leverage if that's the case. So now as you breathe in, look down, pull your stomach down and round your low back and push into the bench. So now you're actively firing off those lats and firing off the flexors of the thoracic spine. As you breathe out, reverse that again. Look up into the hands, pull the chest down and get into deep extension. So what we're accomplishing here is a muscle energy technique, a little contract, relax, and he's working deeper and deeper into the stretch with his respiratory cycle. So breathe in, pull down, breathe out, extend through. Studies have shown that simply 5 cycles of that are effective to change range of motion. So I don't know, where are we at, about 4 cycles? So you can go ahead and stop after this one here. Now, if we would have found a deficiency in his shoulder flexion initially, we'd retest that and I'd expect to see it change an inch or 2, sometimes as much as 4 or 5 inches when he's really bound up through the lats and the upper back.
Doc said I didn't look like I needed it, but it felt like I needed it. That's definitely something that I really want to start adding in even more so to my lifting. Doc had me on this a while back, which is why the overhead positioning looks pretty good. But there was a time that it didn't, and I applied this and it seemed to work, but getting back on that bench definitely seems like I need to get back to putting this stuff in there. You guys should be putting this stuff in as well. You can find more of this, how to plug it into programming, and just more movement demos if you click on the link above to go to our YouTube channel.